talk now. This MMA, what we talking about? Yeah, you tuned into the pod now. Gonna be hard for you to stop now. Yeah, we caged in. Yeah, we caged in. Yeah, we caged in.
Welcome back to another episode of Caged In. I'm your host, Chris DiCarlo. Today we got a very special guest making his return to the show. It's my guy, Ozzy, Toro Martin. How we doing, brother?
Good, man. Good. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I know you got a big one coming up next weekend, Cage Titan 63, going for that amateur welterweight strap versus Cullen Johnson. So I'm appreciative of you, kind of taking time so close to the fight to come on here and chop it up with me, man.
Of course, dude. I'm happy to be back.
There we go. It's been a little bit since we have talked, so let's kind of do a little recap, and then we'll get into the Cage Titan 63 fight. So let's take it back to Cage Titan 60, where you're going for the welterweight amateur strap against Brody McDougal. Unfortunately, that one does not go your way. It gets stopped via doctor stoppage. But the bright side, it did go down as, one of the most epic fights to ever be held inside Plymouth Memorial Hall. You guys took home the 2023 Cage Titans AMI Fight of the Year for that scrap. Looking back at the fight, man, what was your reaction to the stoppage there at the end of round 4?
Well, obviously, at the moment, I was pissed off because me, I love to fight, and I just I wanted to keep going, but my eye was puffed up pretty bad, so maybe it was maybe it was a good stoppage. But I learned so much from that fight, and I got everything that I've ever wanted out of that fight, and it's what I wanted. I wanted a war, and I wanted to go toe to toe with a great fighter to really not only get that experience, but get that feeling and get that feeling inside that I really, really needed to dig deep. And I don't know what else to say more than I learned a lot and I got what I wanted out of it, and now I'm just ready to tear through whoever's next, and it just so happens to be Cullen Johnson.
For sure, man. Going into that fight, there was a lot of hype surrounded around the fight. It lived up to every inch of that hype. Typically, that doesn't happen with fights. Was that the type of fight that you were expecting once you got in there with him?
Yeah, I knew what I signed up for, and I knew the type of fighter he was, but that's what I wanted.
Hmm.
I didn't want to I came off of 2 fights, 2 finishes, and for me, I always want to challenge myself, not only as a person, but as a fighter. I want to fight good fighters, and I don't just want to fight like I can and just get him out of there and not learn anything, just knock him out. I know what I can do in the cage, and I know that I have power, and I know that I have good skill. So I wanted to test my abilities against another fighter with good power and good skill, and it just so happened to be Brody. So as I said, I got everything that I wanted and more out of it. And even to this day, that's my favorite fight I've ever fought.
Mm.
It was fun as hell. And it just made me I don't know, whenever I watch it and someone talks to me about it, I'm proud of it because it was a hell of a fight, and that's the fighter I want to be, the
Mm.
type of fighter that doesn't say no, and and that always goes in there and is willing to die on his shield no matter what, no matter what fight it is. You're gonna have to do some serious damage if you want to take me out of there.
100%, and I think you proved that, tenfold in that fight for sure. Everybody knew the kind of dog that you were going into the fight, and I think that level just kind of elevated after that fight. So I think even though it goes down as a loss for you, I think your stock went through the roof after that one for sure. You guys did end up taking home the 2023 Cage Titans End of the Year award for AMI Fight of the Year. What was your kind of reaction to that kind of reward and praise at the end of the year for that?
I was, yeah, it was a good feeling, but to me, I'm the type of guy and I'm the type of fighter that wants more. I want more. I don't just want the award. I want the belt. I want to win more. I just want to be the best. So and I know I just know I can do more. And that's the thing with me. No matter how hard I train, no matter how many days a week I train, no matter how many hours I train, at the end of the day, I always know that I could do more. I always feel that I could do more, and I try to do more. So for me, that's just the tip of the iceberg. I got to go into this next fight, and I got to win, and I got to win with emphasis, and I know I will.
For sure, man. We're all looking forward to you getting back in there. You know, since you guys left off on that last one, everybody's been clamoring for more Ozzy Martin inside the Plymouth Memorial Hall. So we're excited to get that next weekend. Let's talk about your training camp a little bit. I know home base for you is Lakes Region Valley Tudo. I noticed though that you've been over at Nostos a ton recently. You know, for those that don't know, home of your last opponent, Brody McDougal. So
Mhm.
what's it been kind of like over there, you at Nostos training under Devin Powell and getting working with a lot of those guys over at Nostos?
It's been like it's been crazy, honestly. Like I've loved every second of it. And like I gotta thank Nostos and Devin Powell and everyone there for welcoming me with such like open arms and just taking me in and just like helping me day in, day out, giving me the work, like just the bodies there as well are just there's some incredible fighters there, man. Like serious fighters, some serious competitors. And just like the way Devin runs things, like I feel like I'm like I just feel like I'm in their fire and I feel great. And like I look forward to going there every single time. And I've actually spent quite a bit of time there, like from guys helping me from David Burke, who's an animal, Josh
Mhm.
Smith, who's an animal, Brody, who's an animal, Kyle Hill, who's an animal, like all of those guys like have pushed me a lot and have helped me a ton. Like Ross Danner too. Like it's countless guys. I can just keep naming names,
Mhm.
but like the guys are just unbelievable. They're talented and they're hungry too. So when you go in there and you're in a room full of guys that want the same thing as you, it brings the best out of you. It brings it's something that I like. I don't know. It's hard to put into words. I just love the atmosphere there, and I love training there. And it's just this training camp, I think, has been my best training camp I've ever put forth and the most output I've ever put forth. And I couldn't be readier for Saturday night. Like, I
Yeah.
cannot be ready. I cannot wait to go out there and show everybody the improvements that I've made and just like the type of fight. Like, everybody knows, yeah, the type of fighter I am, but I'm serious about this, man. Like, I've made some big improvements and I cannot wait to show everyone.
There you go, man. I can see the fire in you and I can hear it in your voice that you're ready to go, man. So we're all looking
Yeah.
very forward to seeing you get back in there, man. Let's talk about your training camp as a whole, you know, like outside of Nostos. What has training camp looked like for you? What gyms are you spending time at? And then overall, how has everything been going for you leading up to this one?
Yeah, so yeah, I've also I've had to spend like at the beginning of camp, I spent a lot of my time at Lakes Region Valley Tudo and Laconia with Taylor Mears, and he's amazing striking coach and like he just a great mind overall. And I've been spending a lot of time there, and then like really a lot of time with Daniel Mole and Tyler King over at UFC Gym Boston. Great pads, like Tyler holding pads for me because he's got a great mind too. And Daniel Muller, just an absolute wizard on the ground. Got some. He's a Damian Maya black belt after all, so he's got some serious knowledge, and he's taught me some crazy cool things. That if the fight does hit the mat this time around, then I think a lot of people are going to be surprised with my skill, and I'm really excited to show that. And so yeah, I've been kind of bouncing between there, like all those three gyms, and also like spend a little time at BTT Lynn, which is a Brazilian top team, Lynn,
Hmm.
for my jujitsu, and also some North Shore Muay Thai, which my brother Diego Martin fights out of. Hopefully we'll
Nice.
get him on a Cage Titans card soon. He's a real killer too.
Yeah, let's do it, man.
And but mostly like recently it's just been Nostos day in day out. And like I try to do my doubles, like I try to mix it up where I go, okay, I'll go to UFC gym in the morning, Nostos at night, or LRVT at night, or Nostos in the morning. Like just like I've been trying to do things like that. Like this week, it was Wednesday. I drove to Nostos at 10 in the morning and I just stayed there all day. Trained
Nice.
in the morning, few hours, showered, ate there, got dressed, trained all afternoon. And like that's the life I want to live, man. Like I love doing this so much. Just sometimes, like your body gets a little gets a little sore, and you got to remind yourself, like got to take it a little easy. And that's something actually that Devin Powell has helped me a lot with because I'm a very intense guy when it comes to training. I believe that, like, obviously coming from a kickboxing background in my family, they're old school fighters. Like you gotta go hard all the time, every single time. Like you gotta push it to the limit, and that's always not the best thing because you gotta like you got to choose your training well, and you got to choose like when to go hard or when to go 40, 50%.
Mm.
And Devin Powell has actually helped me a lot with that. I can see the difference in like my training when I'm smarter about it. So now, like, not only have I gotten better, but I've also gotten better outside the cage of just like he actually mentioned something, said like I remember he said to me, fight IQ, it's not just in the cage, but it's also outside of the cage, how you approach things, how you eat, train, all that stuff.
Hmm.
So, I just feel like I've grown so much over this little time at Nostos. It's been phenomenal, and it's like a truly a privilege to go there.
For sure, man. I love to hear that. Sounds like you've got the full package here this camp. Sounds like everything has come together for you and you're ready to put it all in the cage and put on a show for everybody on January 27th, man. So let's get into that card. Cage Titan 63. It is going down January 27th for the amateur welterweight title, where you will be taking on Cullen Johnson, who is 3-2 as an amateur. Looking at the fight, what do you know about your opponent, and then how do you feel about his game overall?
I know he comes from FAA, which is Nick Newell's school, and I got a lot of respect for Nick Newell. He's a great fighter, and he's a great school. He's produced some great fighters, and and about Cully too. Like, I like his style, man. Like, he's got hands. Like, he comes to fight. Like, he chooses tough fights. He goes in there, and I know he's coming in there to win. Like, he's not just showing up to like for no reason. He's coming in
Hmm.
there to knock my ass out. So I know he's bringing it, and I'm ready to bring it. Like, all respect to him. Like, I see how he fights. I like his hands. I like his style. He seems like a smart fighter, and I think this is going to be another fantastic test for me as well. Like, this is going to be great, man. It's going to be a fun fight, and I just can't wait to get back in there in Plymouth Memorial Hall and just give the fans what they want, another banger. That's what I do. I'm ready to produce fireworks in there.
Yeah, man. I mean, anybody that's seen you fight knows that there hasn't been a boring Ozzy Martin fight yet. I'm sure that's not going to continue next weekend. And I also like how much respect and praise that you give to your opponents. So every time I talk to you, it's always the constant theme of, highly respectable, everything that you say coming from you to your opponent. It's always like highly respectful. So I really appreciate that. And anybody that I talk to, but I notice it a lot when I talk to you for sure.
Of course, man. Like, this is a hard game that we're in, and there's no need to, and we're all in New England community as well. So there's no point in trying to put down my opposition. Like I don't really do all that talking bullshit. Like, I like to talk when I'm fighting. Like,
Mhm.
fighting for me, like, it's like we're one on one in there. Like, I can say whatever I want before he can say whatever he wants, fine. But once we start fighting and I start hitting you and I start tagging you and I start or vice versa, then there's not much you can say, is it? Like, or it just makes you look like a dumbass if you're talking all that shit. Then you're getting your ass sparked when you're fighting. So, that's how I just feel about that.
No, man, I agree with you 100%. Looking at this fight stylistically, is there a specific area that you feel like you have the edge in?
I just think I'm faster. I hit harder, and I just think that maybe he thinks that I can't grapple or something. I don't know. Honestly, I'm not sure. Like, he's probably gonna he probably sees something in the film. Nick Newell's got a great mind, or he's got a good mind as well. Calling himself, so I'm sure that they've picked at the film and seen little things that they can exploit. But at the end of the day, like, you can make all the game plans you want, but when I'm in your face and I'm smashing your face in, there's not much thinking that you're gonna be able to do.
For sure. And I noticed, like, looking at Coley's fight record and everything, it seems like he's fought most of it or all of his amateur career at lightweight, and I think even maybe one at 145. So this one's obviously going to be at welterweight at 170. Are you expecting to be the bigger guy once you guys get in there on the 27th?
Uh, Yeah, honestly, I think for the first time in my career that I might be the bigger guy, because this is gonna be a fun fact actually. I've never cut for a fight to make 170. I've always just dieted, and I've never done a water cut. And a big emphasis after my last fight was lifting, putting on weight, and this is the biggest I've been before a fight, to be
Mm.
honest. So I'm cutting a little bit of weight this time, and hopefully I can. I got some good people around me to help me rehydrate to be a bigger guy in the cage, and we'll see if that makes a difference. I know I already hit hard. making 170 naturally. Let's see how much harder I hit now.
Yeah, that's
I think
that
I
is
think
it is a scary thought
yeah.
when you think of it that way.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be fun, man. I think it's gonna be a good time.
I mean, I know I'm excited for it, man. I'm sure everybody else is. Looking at the fight, man, I know you have the championship experience, with your last one versus Brody at Cage Titans. Cully's got some championship experience with flex fights and cage wars. Because of that aspect, do you think that this fight is going to be, very high skilled and a high level contest between you two, given the fact that you both have championship experience?
100%, and this is gonna be a sorry, this this is gonna be a very skilled matchup, and and I just think that this is not gonna look like an amateur fight. Like every time I go out there, like I'm a technique freak. Not only like I love the violence and I love the chaos, but I also love fighting the art itself. So I focus a lot on my technique and if it looks good and stuff like that. And from what I can tell from his film of what I've seen, I feel like he feels the same way. So I think that you're gonna see two skilled opponents just clashing head first, but I'm gonna come out on top.
Hell yeah, man. This is going to be your third fight in a row with Cage Titans. Have you found like a newfound home at Plymouth Memorial Hall and kind of settled into that path that you're kind of carving over there?
Yeah, dude, I love Cage Times, man. Like they're great. I love the fans. I love the aura. Like Plymouth, the town is like nice as hell too. So like it's like a good ordeal. Plus like they take care of you. Like the social media is cool as well. Like they make you feel like you're like a real fighter. Like you got the hype, like all that stuff.
Hmm.
I think it's important too, like for the young fighters to like be confident in themselves. Like me myself, like I just turned 21, so I'm still pretty young in this game. And like I love it, man. I love Cage Times. Paul Veer is a great guy. Like Nick Haler, he's a great dude as well. Like everyone connected to Cage Times, they're great. And like they've helped me out with a lot of things, especially like I had a pretty gnarly face after the last fight too. So they helped me out with the medical bills and everything. So it's a great organization. And like for all the young fighters out there, like if you haven't fought for Cage Titans yet, like get your ass on Cage Titans. You're gonna love it. I'm telling you.
For sure, man. I can second that as well. Definitely great people over there at Cage Titans. Everybody, in front of the cameras and behind the cameras, the entire organization full of great people. And I can't say enough good things about them. You mentioned that you just turned 21. So does that mean that we might see you pull up to the after party after or what?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, let's see how busted up my face gets.
Yeah.
Then we'll see.
Maybe we'll try and keep it a little cleaner this time.
No, definitely. I'll be fine. I'll
Hey,
be good. I can see it. I came out on my first two fights without a scratch. So the last time it was kind of due. I need a little
yeah, you just got it all
little
in
eye,
one.
little nose. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and that's fine, man. It's fighting after all, dude. I like part of like being in the fight itself is getting hit, and a lot of people are like, "What do I do? Like if I get hit, I'm like, dude, like you're in a fight, man. You're gonna get hit. Embrace the pain, dude. Embrace it. Like
Yeah.
it gets me fired up thinking about it, dude.
For sure. And one last question before I get you out of here, man. What can the fans at Plymouth Memorial Hall expect from Ozzy Martin once those cage doors lock on January 27th?
You're gonna see. You're gonna see the same fighter that you guys always see, but you're gonna see him more refined, smarter, just moving better. Just you know, I just, I just, it's hard to explain, but once you guys will see how much I've grown and how much faster I am and how much like, just, I just like, I'm fired up thinking about it. I don't want to give too much away, but you got to tune in for this fight, man. Like, you have to watch this because if you don't, like, you're gonna see on Instagram anyway the highlight finish, but I'm telling you, it's gonna be a banger of a fight. And shout out Cullen Johnson too. He's gonna bring the fight. I know he is, but this one's mine. And I'm telling you, this one's mine. I know it's gonna be. I know this is mine. I can feel it.
All right, man. Ozzy, I appreciate the time, man. It's always a pleasure talking to you, on the camera, off camera. You're always the same dude every time I run into you. So it's a pleasure, to have you come on here and talk to me. Anything you want to say to the people, where can they find you if they want to come find you on social media? And then I'll let you go on there and enjoy the rest of your day, man.
Yeah, dude. If you guys want to find me on Instagram at Aussie.9, and just want to like give a shout out to like all my sponsors and stuff like that. My white belt, Chester Village Chiropractic, Creeping Cycles, Martin Ranch, G63 Auto Parts, Aloha Apothecary, and let me think. You know, sometimes I'll be thinking. All right, if I forget you, I'm sorry, but if you go on my Instagram, everything's there. Everything is there, and you can see it.
Perfect.
So yeah. Oh, I also just got fight T-shirts. This is the first batch of fight T-shirts. There's gonna be a lot more coming in, especially after this fight. But I'm just like, you know, testing the water, seeing how these sell, and then I'm gonna be producing a lot more. So that's it, man. You know, thank you for having me. I always love coming on your podcast, dude. It's great stuff. Great questions, great host.
Hey, man, I appreciate you for saying that. Thank you very much. And I know you don't typically like doing a lot of media stuff, so I do appreciate when you do agree to
Yeah.
come on and talk to me, man. It does mean a lot. So thank you for taking the time. You know, best of luck. I'll see you. I'll be at the fight, so I'll see you at the building. Best of luck January 27th, man, and I'll see you in there.
Hell yeah, dude. Thanks. I'll see you there, man. I'll see you there with that big shiny belt wrapped around me.
There you go, man. There you go. Ozzy, I appreciate you, brother.
Got down for the count and he can't even talk now. This MMA, what we talking about? Yeah, you tuned into the pod now. Gonna be hard for you to stop now. Yeah, we caged in. Yeah, we caged in. Yeah, we caged in.